Tell me something, boy.
You tapping your little foot? Do it.
Tell me something, boy. Are you tired trying to stay hardcore with that line? We did a very long episode. Guys, welcome to...
Oh my God.
Annie's.
Start from the beginning.
What if my nickname for you guys was just Annie's?
Start from the beginning.
Hey guys, welcome to AnnieWood. I'm so excited for you to be here. This is a very fun episode we have. I have my boy, my Philly boy, Big J Oakerson on here. Oh boy, did we talk.
Oh, they just yap.
We yapped the whole time. It was very fun. Probably our longest episode yet, unless Todd edits it all out.
Well, we'll see.
But it was very fun. I want to thank all the Woodies, Stannies, and Sannies, or Fannies, slugs from another podcast, cats who are finding a new home, who came out to the shows in Seattle. We had such a good time.
It was so good.
The meet and greet was meaty. It was a meaty meet and greet. It was really greedy and meaty.
Seattle showed up. They came.
Seattle showed up.
Sold out. We got the merch.
We sold out. We sold the merch. We sold out the shows. We sold out the merch. We had so much fun. I signed scrotums. I signed boobs. I signed diabetes insulin thing. It was great. There was a guy with peg legs and he didn't let me sign them.
There was no peg legs.
Yes, you didn't. Well, they weren't pegs, but they were.
Oh my goodness. This was in your imagination.
No. Anyway, it was a beautiful, amazing time in your drizzly city. So thank you guys for coming out. Next, you can see us this weekend in Tampa. It's going to be so fun.
When I say Tampa, you say Bay. Tampa.
Bay.
Tampa.
Bay. He's saying that because last time his drunkle, did that during my entire set. So guess who's not getting on the guest list this time? Your uncle. Sorry, Scott. But it's going to be really fun. We're excited. And then we're going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina the next weekend. Randy will be in tow. And we're going to have a blast. So come out to those shows. I got more shows after that. I'll be in Canada. I'll be in at LOL. I'm coming back to San Antonio in April.
You're going to Salt Lake City,
Utah. Raleigh, North Carolina. Another Canada gig, a lot of gigs, a lot of places. So go to AnnieLederman.com/shows to check them out. And please enjoy me and my dear friend, the hilarious Big J Oakerson.
Welcome to AnnieWood.
Hey guys, welcome to AnnieWood. I have one of my boys, Big J, all the way in from New York. Go Birds. We don't know when this comes out, so they won or lost.
They did it. No, they already did.
They won. They won. There's no way they were going to win.
We got
anyway,
to the parade, remember?
Yes, we got double. It was really cool by my dad. By my dad.
I'm working on my socials.
But I wanted to say that you have a thing when you come to the Comedy Store in LA. You are surrounded, like, it may look like I don't like you because you are surrounded. People come out of the woodwork that I have been, like, I feel like I manifested them out of my, like, where they, like, no longer exist on the earth. And then I'm like, that person?
Like Rocco?
It's like, no, it's really weird. Like, people, I think you have an inviting quality. So just, I have a list of, I call them active shooters. It's the people that when I see them down the hall, I look for the exit.
Sure.
They love you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They love you.
Yeah.
And they're never even really talking to you. They're just right near you. So that if I say hi to you, it's weird. I'm not looking at them. But I've gotten good at, I sweep into the room and I find eye contact with you. And then I look to this direction because they're usually to that side.
Yeah. Over.
But you might not even notice this because it's just your life.
I'd be curious to hear who they are, but I'm sure I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah. I mean, one we were just talking about for about.
The one we're just talking
about.
Because
that person lives here.
Lives here?
Never. I've not seen them since I was with you in New York at the stand.
I haven't seen them in a decade. And then every night, 3 nights in a row I was there.
And I know I'm there every night. So I know who's not normally there. And it's your nights are the most packed with those people.
Yeah.
So what you think is normal is really just like it's a hovering around you.
Well, it's funny because I always get on the road. That used to be the funniest thing where I feel like my host or the local feature would always be like, that lives there. They're like, they usually don't let me play here too much because they say, I'm like too raw and dirty. So this is a cool weekend that I get to work with you. And then that person goes on stage and they're like, you know, you ever put a fist up a girl's and then her juice all over your hands, and then you're like, is that what you think I do? Like that's why I always get upset when I'd be like, yeah, we're doing a nasty show with you and these guys. And then you watch those people. I'm like, I don't think that's what I do though. I don't think I just go drippy juice, sweat into her bloody.
It is weird. I remember I had this obese opener. I mean, like obese, like the biggest man. Like, there's no way he's still living on this earth. Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe he got a surgery, but other than that, like this is like Al Roker looked skinny. So he was. Oh, that's not me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, popular. Is he your publicist?
Hello.
Maybe your publicist.
I made it to the show, everyone. I think she's going fine. She's being very professional.
It's so funny. I like have to send it to you and then her, and I know her. She's my manager's girlfriend too. So it's like,
really?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Hey girl, do I have to text you or Jay? But anyway, so wait, what was I talking about? Do you remember? ADD.
People coming out of the woodwork. You've got
the opener. Okay, so this opener.
Oh, the heavy set.
And it was when did you ever do
why did I say on all shows, why did I say heavy set?
It's sweet.
The heavy set guy.
Heavy set sounds like boobs. It doesn't sound like a man.
I'm happy it got passed. When I was a kid, the husky section.
Oh, my dad was husky.
Was the nightmare. As a child, going in the husky section. Come on, it's got to be a better. We're big and tall.
And such a cute dog too. To be like, and you're this doesn't match at all.
No, it's a beautiful, majestic dog.
It's like a gorgeous, like leads sleds. You guys don't exercise.
Not a big fat guy buying sleeveless t-shirts.
Yeah, huskies really like you smell bad too.
Yeah.
It's like the from under sweat.
Smells like like you're wearing clothes that got wet and dried. That smell.
Oh my God. Okay, so this guy I was in town and we were. It was one of the gigs where you show up and it's like a restaurant and they didn't tell you. Mm-hmm. Like, because I remember they had been tweeting that there was like a barbecue, like there was like a deal on tickets and a barbecue platter. And I was like, why am I a part of like the brisket platter, you know? And then I get there and it's just like a restaurant. And so this giant man he just kept, every joke was about like a giant he took or whatever, which was like fine. But it's just like you smacked everyone with your fupa on the way to and he was nice enough. But his set was like, he was like yelling at he'd be like, it's like they're eating dinner, first of all. Like they're just at dinner, okay? Like they're not doing anything wrong.
I was like, have a little sympathy for them.
Yeah, so I felt bad. I was like, it was probably my second headlining weekend. They headlined me like, 2.5 years in. I'm like, no clue what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm like, ooh, a little out of my league. But this guy was one of the worst things I've ever seen. At that time, he's probably a great comic now if he's alive. But he's like railing in on this girl that's not done anything. He's like trying to get her kicked out and stuff. I'm like, I haven't even gone up yet. So I'm like, Jesus. So then, and I'm from New York.
Was he assigned your opener or you brought him?
No. They gave him to me.
They gave him to you.
No, I didn't bring him with me. No. So then, but he was also like my ride places. So he was like, and it was crazy. And then he was like, let's go to the movies. Do you know how, like, Jay, you may think you're a big guy. Going to the movies with this guy was so weird. I was like,
You did go?
He was so obviously uncomfortable and not able to fit in this. Like he was up on top of the seat. Oh. And it was like, and he didn't, and none of us wanted him to feel bad. So we were just like both.
That's the most depressing fat is when you don't feel like you can like you don't even care that you can't pull it together in front of like a pretty girl or maybe a girl at all. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like the fact that like I would, of all things, he goes, hey, you want to help me go, giant couch shopping?
Yes, exactly. Anything, and also like as a comic.
He goes, hey, you want to go sit somewhere with
but he's just
chairs
so
that
large.
have no arms?
Yeah,
armless chairs?
It's just he's so large that like I know his life is different, from other people. So it's like, this is not a thing you can usually do. And I think I must have invited him to the, and he was like, sure, I'll go, And then it was just it didn't even cross my mind till we were there. And then the whole movie, it's just thinking about like how he's
I like to lay on my stomach in the aisle.
I'll just stand. He's just behind me with his hands. He gets in the car and it drops down, it's just everything's just so sad, No,
I'm saying I know if as big as I do think I'm big for sure, but I see so many people who I'm not like dysmorphic in that. I know like, oh, they're bigger than me. And I'm saying if I go to like Madison Square Garden, like, I'm sitting like this for sure. It is what it is. But like, so I'm just like,
You made you fit the chair test. You
Yeah, no, I
passed.
could do this one. This one
Hey,
I
you're
can
doing
stretch.
good. That's a big chair on you.
What do you want to do? You want to sit here?
I know. Let's get rid of this chair.
I could probably keep a bottle of water right
Let's
here if I wanted to.
double up.
Don't even care.
But so I'm from New York, so he thinks like him calling this girl is like it's like for me. He's
You're
doing
being
this.
edgy. He's
Like
being
he's
edgy,
doing
yeah.
this for me. He's performing for me. So then he like drives me through this mill town. He's driving me like to the airport and giving me like the tour of this weird shitty town. And he's telling me this story. He goes, yeah, we do this show for all these tourists. It's so funny, man. Like these people are always getting up and leaving. We're like, you don't like AIDS jokes? And I'm just like, what? Don't you want to make them happy a little bit? Like, aren't you there to bring joy to the audience at all?
Almost what I left out from saying the thing before was I've had openers that I've brought with me on the road that I had to eventually stop saying, hey, dude, when your gross, shitty thing doesn't hit, can you not? The immediate throw under the bus of me is the funny. They go, you think that's bad?
Wait till you see.
Yo, Jay, right here, dude. They ain't ready for it, and you're like, they're perfectly ready.
They like me. They're here to see me.
Yeah, I go. It's just they didn't dig your thing. I was like, that or like the concept of you can't handle it. Well, you can't handle it. It's like your job is to make them handle it. You make something palatable that's something it's not supposed to be is what is funny. So it's like if you're just going like, hey, it's like sloppy pussy, right? Girls with gross stink pussies.
Yeah, you guys just don't get edge. Like you don't.
He goes, oh, okay. He goes, this guy, I didn't realize we had the church audience in here.
Yeah, and you're just like,
Or like the, yeah, I just raped my daughter the other day.
Oh,
Isn't
Kill
that
Tony,
fucking
by the
cool?
way. Every time I do Kill Tony, I'm like, what's going on, Texas? Do we need to like relax here? Maybe we get our kids taken away. Why is the punchline always you fucked your daughter?
You know the thing behind that. I mean, it's funny. I've always been as I get older, I feel like I still have plenty of dirty shit, if it makes sense. But like my mind doesn't like when I would think, I'd only think in like,
of course,
sex, fucking, blah blah blah. But I have life experiences now, so even though I'd still describe it as dirty, I've gotten less dirty as I've gotten older. But still a very foul mouth. When I was young, I try to explain when people go, I've tried to help young comics almost be like, get away from that because I know what you're doing. I've done it.
But they have to go through it.
And the issue is like, go over the top. Because if they're definitely going to react, and the biggest fear was like dead silence. So if you go up there and you say that, it's like, you ever see a girl with pussy so wet,
she queefed a fart, and then the fucking
yeah, exactly. And the crowd goes, oh, and you're like, they're listening. Okay, there's something about that.
They're looking at me.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
No, I feel like my mind was always dirty too, and it's like it's not that it's not, but it's funny now, like because I'm never gonna do like as a female in comedy, like you're never gonna get that from me, but like it is funny that if I put, like, we posted a clip, we had Dr. Drew on, and I was like, fucking with him, like, I was telling him, like, about getting, like, jizzed on by my teacher, and I'm like, yeah, he was my art teacher, I was his canvas or whatever, and guys underneath are like, there you go, a woman talking about being a whore. I'm like, I'm literally talking about getting jerked, when I was a kid, getting jerked off on. It's like, if a guy did that, you wouldn't be like, wow, and the guy in his other sex joke, you'd be like, oh, this guy's fucking.
Did I ever tell you, because you didn't end up making it in for Voss Roast?
Oh, I know. Well, working for Sacha Baron Cohen. Sorry, I was busy.
Did I tell you the thing I said?
No, let me hear it.
It wasn't a negative on you. I just go, so I go, isn't it weird that Annie Lederman, who's supposed to be here, and Bonnie McFarlane are both like, both have a story of like a teacher in school. Like I was like, Annie got jerked off on, and Bonnie was like taken to a strip club by one of the people trying to get her all horned up. I go, but maybe that is the recipe for being a hilarious and pretty, like being hot and funny female comic. And I went, unrelated is to my understanding that Judy Gold went through high school without incident. Went through all of her schooling without incident.
Oh my God, that was going to be so fun. I liked doing, you just started posting the things from that, what was that show on True TV that we did with Kurt?
Oh, the Comedy Knockout.
Oh my God, that's like good memories. That joke you had about, there was something where they asked us like, we had to make jokes about like, what would you say if you were in a museum with?
Oh, it's Kurt. It's Kurt's joke though.
I know, but Kurt is so funny. He's such a good writer.
Again, I don't.
It was something like,
because I'm insecure.
What would you give? It would be like, what would you give Annie to go to? What would Annie take to a museum? And he said a mouth guard so she wouldn't chip
a muzzle so she doesn't chip her teeth blowing statue dicks.
It's like so stupid.
That was fucking hilarious. That show was wacky.
It was
That was
such
the most strange walk out of a place I've ever had in my life because I won that one, and they give you a trophy on stage, and I was like, okay, like, thank you. Just at that point, you're always happy it's over. It's one of those shows you have to like work for. I hate taking other people's jokes.
Oh, it's the worst.
I hate being written for.
I know.
It was fun. I don't want to say their names because they were funny comics. Got nothing to do with them. But they were so much younger than me in comedy.
Right.
That when I was in the place and they go, so they sent us in here. It's like the writing staff. Like, you want us to do something? I go, why the fuck would I ever ask you for help with writing?
Jay, I'm still in trouble with one of them. I had to
Really?
I had to try to like make amends with one of them because they're like, you wouldn't take my jokes. Like, you made me look bad at my job. I'm like, I'm on television. I have to do the jokes that I like. They can't be your jokes. I'm sorry. It's like, it's not like I don't like your jokes.
I can't.
It's not that I don't like you. It's not that I'm going, I don't like your jokes or you're not funny. It's like, my mouth has to say them, okay?
Yeah. Well, my thing's always like the guilt. That's why I say I always think it's an impressive thing about Kurt. Like the writers, people who are writers don't have an insecurity about taking someone else's like thing if you give it to them. Kurt's done punchlines that I've helped him word or tags I've given him complete. Oh, can I? He always like, can I? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you want to? That's awesome. And if Kurt gave me something, I always like trust the Kurt one too. I'm like, why I don't want to do it? I don't want to hear it. Like, let me get to it myself.
Yeah.
Because what happens when I do it, it's gonna get a big laugh, and I'm gonna feel like a jerk off unless
like you lied or something.
Kurt Metzger wrote that part of it.
Yep.
And that's what I did on Lewis's roast in Houston Skankfest. I remember only one thing I Josh Edemeyer said that made me laugh that I put it in there. And I was reading my joke, so he just said it. And he was like, "You could use it. Go ahead."
He could use the
and I said it.
Credit.
And when it got the hit, I was like, Josh Edemeyer wrote that.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience was like, who gives that? But I'm like, it
Mike
bothers
Racine,
me.
I wrote all these jokes for Mike Racine on one of the roasts he did. I can't remember what the roast was, who it was for. But they posted it online and I watched it. I was so pissed at him because I wrote so many of these jokes. And then one didn't work and he goes, Annie Lederman wrote that joke. I go, no. I wrote the ones that worked. I wrote the ones that worked, bitch. Fuck you. And you didn't deliver that right. I would have fucking crushed that goddamn joke.
I'm not a writer, man. I'm not especially for other people. I
can do it, but I'd rather not.
I helped somebody with a roast one time, one of the Comedy Central ones, and he did fine. He did fine. It wasn't that. It was hearing them back, and you're like, that's not how you say it.
Yeah, you did
that's
it
not
wrong.
how I would have said it. Yeah, even if it did fine, they did fine because the audience is goose to laugh and whatever. But I was just like, oh, I don't like it. I'm too married to it. Lewis and Dave wrote a script.
You did
13 years ago. 13.
Have you read it on the show?
We did, yeah. We did not long ago. We cast it. We had everybody come out and stuff like that and do it. Like Ari did that once, and then we ended up doing that idea with him.
Oh my God! You had to just give Ari credit for doing it before you.
And it was so
A million people. That's what scripts are. You read them. So you just gave that. You want to give every person in Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but table reads happen all the time. It's just a stolen idea. We did it there, and it was the first time that many years removed from it now from reading it, because many years after Dave and Lewis were like, yeah, dude, like we shopped it a little bit, and like basically what we got was it's really funny, but no. You know what I mean? And like some genuine really funny. Even I got like, didn't know how to act. I got like pissy at Comedy Central, I think, when they passed on it. And the person went back, he goes, I think you should still tweak it and pitch it. He goes, it's good. I think he was like, we already have Workaholics, which is like a buddy comedy thing. He's like, but it's funny, you know what I mean? But I was
Don't they regret it now, Comedy Central?
I had like you're missing this thing. And I'm like, we don't have to tweak it. And I'm like, what? And I kind of I believed showing that to my agent was the thing that got me my agent.
Oh yeah.
And when we came back, and Lewis and Dave years later were like, yeah, it's probably just not good. And I was like, no.
Did you watch it?
It's funny because
we never
filmed it. But I was like, it's good. But what I was just blown away by is because I'm such not a formulaic writing comedy person, the fact that we did it, and I'm like, we also wrote it in a very like, all right, the first scene should be this, and you say and I say. There's no like shelling out the idea.
Yeah.
When we were done, we had this like, I still agree this is good. Like the story thing is great.
Yeah.
The story's
there's an
great.
arc. Yeah.
And it makes sense and it is funny, but man, when we did read it, like whatever it was 2
You're
years
like,
ago,
"Ooh."
I was like, yeah, it ain't, because many years after, Dave and Lewis were always like, yeah, it's probably just bad. I'm like, we wrote a fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just we're nobodies. Once we're somebody, we'll make that thing.
Yeah.
And now it's just funny. It's like we've aged out of the story. We couldn't even play ourselves in this thing. It's over.
You could play like the parents
But
of
I
it.
did. So that's almost my thing with like writing. It's like
I would love
I'm
you-
possessive over it. And I'm like, no, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe we did that. We wrote everyone's involved and all the characters say things.
And they're like, that's the bare minimum of a script.
Yeah,
they're like, that's the part that we expect you to be able to do.
It's like a high school project, yeah.
I did a pilot with Comedy Central, and did I ever show it to you, Ted?
I did.
Is it cringe?
It's
Kind of cringe, right?
A little bit, yeah.
But aren't all pilots
Yeah.
cringe? Because you're like,
Sure.
it's like your first day.
Watching myself acting anyway is
It's
not
just,
my thing at all.
well, here's the thing. Acting is,
comedy.
can we
That's
just
what
say
it is.
acting's
So good.
bleep it. Acting's put a little fart over it. And I feel like my whole life I've been like, I'm not going to do something like that. And then it's
Yeah.
like actors are the kids that are like, we're vulnerable. We sing, we play pianos. They're like, Brad Pitt was like a theater major.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone's like, oh, Brad Pitt's cool. No. He's a theater major. He's the kid that in college started playing the piano and singing show tunes at a party.
Oh yeah.
Ruined a party.
Musical theater.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
These are like nerds. So it's like, if you want to be an actor, you have to be a nerd, which I can do maybe, but it's like, I would have to like.
I don't like the thing of it. And even when they describe like the highest level of like, but your day, what are you talking about? They bring you in when you have to be on set for your part, and then you can go play in your trailer on your.
I don't want to be in a
on
trailer.
your PlayStation, this whole thing. And I'm just like, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of waiting and then doing other people's lines.
I said when Hustlers came out, I was in Hustlers. When Hustlers came out,
we got to see that.
when Hustlers came out,
My earrings were in it too.
Ooh. when it came out, taking Isabella to the movies with a couple people,
Isabella.
and like sitting there and like it was the first time I was ever on like a theater movie.
Yeah.
And the only also.
Yeah. What other movie?
It was the first time.
Just a home video.
No, the other one actually years ago in one small theater in New York, they released a B straight to DVD movie I did called From Other Worlds.
Ooh.
And I went.
Is it about you dating a black girl?
It was an alien movie.
A Mexican.
I play big lab assistant 1. I've got a few lines and like 2 scenes. I went to go see it with my ex.
What can I just ask? Can I just
Sure.
guess what the scene was? Big lab assistant. So you're wearing a lab coat and you're like what, knocking beakers over?
No, but you're not crazy far off. Big lab assistant. I'm arguing with a Russian guy who's the other lab assistant.
Over whose
little
bagel
lab
it is?
assistant.
Okay.
His little lab assistant, and he's very Russian, and he's like, we're arguing over what kind of pizza toppings we should get. And then the other thing is like,
where's his like spinach? And you're like, no, we're getting.
Yeah, I dim-wittingly like someone walks out of a door or something, and I try to like slide my lab coat so it does that thing and blocks the door from closing.
Yeah.
That's my scene. Went to go see that with my ex-wife in the theater he told me he was opening up at. Is the same director that did, or no, I found out I was wrong. I thought it was the same director as Death Becomes Her.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It wasn't. It's like another guy. He did something else on it.
Death became on her.
Yeah. No, it's Death Becomes Her, but he did something else.
Yeah, he
and
was
Married
like
to the Mob, something also
yeah.
he did. But this movie is terrible. But we went to go see it, and it was in a theater, but me and her went. It was very small theater, so actually a very small screen. Nobody else was in the theater. No, not one other person. We watched the whole thing. When
you were going in, were you like, is it good? Were you like, this is a good one, right? I heard this is great.
I did, yes. And she said, I haven't heard about it yet. This just gets funnier. We go in there, we watch the movie. The movie ends and the credits are going up. When she sees my name, she takes out her flip phone to, that's how long ago this was, to take a picture of the screen. And I go, don't. She goes, why? And I was like, oh yeah. In my mind, I was like, it's embarrassing.
Everyone's gonna know.
She's like, no one's here. And I was like,
also,
yeah,
she's like, you'll never see this again.
But also, when the credits started rolling, before she took the picture of it, she had to ask a guy to stop because as soon as the credits hit, a guy comes out on it's like a small stage with a screen with a mop and a bucket. So, and she goes, "Oh, wait, can you just wait 1 second?" I was like, that's why I was like, no. And she's like, who are you embarrassed in front of? And then we leave, and I go, are these postcards? Because they had a stack of postcards that were this movie poster. I mean, a couple hundred of them easily. And I go, can I take like a bunch of these? And they were like, you could literally take them all. And so I was like, and I go, well, no, in case the other people. So I didn't take all of them. And then I go, this is probably a crazy question. Did they have any chance? Do you have like multiple posters of it? Because I see the posters in the thing outside the window. And they go, no, but like, we'll just give. And they pulled the one out of the window and gets the one that I own currently. She just took it out of the thing and rolled it up. But the point was, so that wasn't really felt like I was on a screen, but taking Isabella to see the thing, and I'm like
a real movie.
I'm like, yo, and J-Lo talks
How long
to
were
me
you in it?
I mean, a cumulative minute.
Really?
Yeah, this is the one with like Cardi B, right?
Yeah.
I want to see it. It was supposed to be good.
It's me introducing J-Lo's like now like famous dance she does in that, where you're like, how is she 50 years old?
53.
I watched it now. I watched her. Do real pornographic almost dance moves over and over again.
Does she look as good in person?
Yeah. Cardi B, Usher was there. Oosh
was there.
Yeah, Oosh. A not world famous yet Lizzo.
Okay.
It was just a lot of stuff, and I could have watched anything I wanted to watch getting filmed, and it was just 3, I would describe, miserable days.
Well, are you self-conscious about your attitude? You had like probably one line, right?
Didn't give a fuck about the acting. Well, yes, I am. I'm not very comfortable with it, but it's like when they yell roll,
when you
I feel
only
like I can
have
do
one line, it's, I think, way worse than if you have like 3 scenes, right? Because one line, there's so much pressure on it. It's like, they're like, all right, just say like, we're letting her in. So you'd be like, all right, we're letting her in. We are letting her in. Like you're in that trailer and then you're like, I got it, I'm fine. You're like, I'm fine, I got it. You wake up, you're like confident. You're sitting in that trailer. You have nothing fucking else to do other than run that line over and over and over again. Then all of a sudden you're about to go to set and you go, what's the line again? Wait, what's the fucking line? I just don't
understand things too. They go, here, put all this like this wrist jewelry on because you're gonna look like, a guy who wears like
you look like yourself like a year ago.
You're not even arguing. That's almost the point I made. I was like, yeah, these are actually annoying to take off. Like they don't really stretch up. I go, so can I just like we'll just do my things. We'll just do my wrist things. And it was like so important. They're like, no, it's got to be like this. It's like, it's literally I don't get that. Like
well, because it's someone's job. It's someone's job. Yeah, it's someone's job you're taking.
So they're like, yeah, I went and cultivated the wrist dangles for this guy, and like, you got to do it. But with all,
which is like why they cast you, by the way, is because you have those on. Yeah.
I'll tell you why I was actually casting that. I did an audition. No, not really. I guess it was like they wanted me to come read, and Louis was basically giving me parts on his show every year in some capacity, and one of them was to play a strip club DJ in a scene. That was like a funny scene. And
we're talking about Anderson.
Same casting.
Did you hook up with him?
Was that your opener?
Did you hook up with him?
No, I met him once, which was weird.
Did you
in
try
a weird
to kiss
place.
You?
No.
A weird place. Where?
It was Tom Bernard is a very popular DJ that's in Minneapolis. So when I started going to Minneapolis, and even a couple times I did his show first, he was always telling me how he's good friends with Louis Anderson and stuff. That's one of the comics that he's friends with. And I'm like, sure, I bet you think you guys are better friends than he is.
Come through town, yeah.
And then like one time, after he started doing, when podcasting started happening, it was, hey, after you do the radio show, we'd now do it the house podcast also, come do that. And we're like, sure. Me and Dave Smith, they, have a cab pick us up, or car service take us to Scarface mansion this guy has. And then we as we walk in, Tom's like, hey, we got like lunch for everybody, and like we'll have lunch, and then we'll do the podcast. And he goes, do you know Louis? And he's turned the corner, he's like, hey.
He's just hanging out, like eating sandwiches. That's so crazy.
He just came for sandwiches.
Like he just comes.
He wasn't on the podcast with us. He just came to kick it with Tom and have sandwiches. Like, that's the weirdest place to meet another comic. Like, hey.
Then you're like, is that is everyone telling the truth when they say they're friends with everyone? Like, what the hell?
Right. He goes, oh, I guess he was friends with
You are
Louis
the reason
Anderson.
I'm friends with Papa Roach, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even friends with Papa Roach, but you worked your magic on that boat.
I could not. I bombed so hard in front of them
How
that I was
fucking
like,
fun.
Is that still happening?
How fun could that boat have been? I'm not doing
Okay.
Chipmunk anymore. But what I am trying to do now is get Christine to a lot of these.
Skankfest,
When I
great.
see the festivals, now the rock festivals that are at, because of COVID, they're putting together some insane festivals.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not doing comedy again or so. And I was like, yo, stop. Go to like the Welcome to Rockville in Daytona's got like an insane lineup this year. And I go, pitch it like a Skankfest tent.
Yeah.
All you got to do for a comedy tent at festivals is air condition it. And
Yeah.
people will be inside there.
Yeah.
And you just run 2 comedy shows and it gives you basically.
And then you get
basically you're working for
access
full.
to the.
You're working for full access in a
We
hotel
did Life
room.
is Beautiful. It was so fun. I was so sure I was going to meet Billy Joe. I was like, I'm meeting him.
Billy
I was like,
Armstrong.
yeah, because I was like, there's no way I'm not meeting him. I just was like, you know, like when you're a kid, you like see something, you go, I'm going to meet that person someday. It's never failed me. Okay. It's
Really?
never, I've met every fucking person and it'll be things like, I'm not seeking them out. Like it'll just be like, and yes, there was this show or this movie. Do you remember
I
the
had
movie?
that too, but it was mostly at the Philadelphia car show.
It would be weird. People, we know that show. They don't have a Ghostbusters mobile. But okay, so did you ever see the movie Father's Day? It was like
Yeah,
Billy Crystal
absolutely.
and
Robin Williams, and they're
the
looking for
kid
their
in
daughter.
that. No, they're looking for their son.
Oh, yeah.
It's a son, but he's a little pretty boy.
They don't know who the father is.
But he's and she knows who the father is. It turns out in the end, but she's like getting them to go find her kid that ran away. But so the kid in it, I remember I was like probably his age. I was about his age or maybe a little younger. I didn't have a crush on this kid. There was nothing. Okay. I just saw him and I was like, there's a thing about this kid. I don't know what it is. Like 3 years later, like nobody knows this kid. Okay. Nobody recognizes him. He's not like a famous guy. He did one, I'm in France with my friend's dad was stationed somewhere around there. So we went to Europe and we went to France to go to a Backstreet Boys concert. I'm 15 years old. We're in the Palace of Versailles. I turn around, I go, are you from, and I knew his name because I had a weird thing. I was like, are you Charlie Hoffheimer? Were you in Father's Day? And he was like so happy because nobody ever recognized him. He goes, it is me. And I was like, it was just like this weird validating moment where I was like, it's so crazy. I remember he gave me his number. He lived in New York. He gave me his number. I never ended up hanging out with him because we were going to a Backstreet Boys concert. And then I had his number like written on my wall. I like wrote it in like whiteout on my wall. And it was like famous guy. I never called him.
Yeah. I've more than I have like go to meets, I have the do not meets list. Like don't meet. It's going to bum you out.
Oh, it's always devastating.
Yeah. I don't like the do not Marilyn Manson. No. At this point, Johnny Depp. Nah.
I still want Johnny. I told Doug, I was like, give me Johnny. Give him to me. I still want him.
It's so funny. Doug's also the person who I go sometimes, give me Manson. All right, don't.
He is our access. That's the thing. But don't you realize once you have once you're making a living off a dream job, you kind of do have access to all the dream job people, even though there's ones that are out of your league. You still can.
Howard Stern was talking about this the other day, and it was kind of interesting. Like the reason that there is a high, aside from nepotism, there's a high level of even actors who are B actors and then their kids becoming big time actors is because at a young age, it doesn't seem unattainable to them.
Yes.
You've been at a place and seen that at the end of the day, because movies, the actual film, the look of them looks so like not what you see out of your eyes.
Yeah.
Just like the, whatever you call that, like the way it's muted or whatever and looks different is so like but when you are shooting the thing, like how dramatic these cameras could make this moment look right now. Do you know what I mean? But really it's just like, there's like props and cutouts and like, it's not that serious. I think about that when I watch shows. I'm like, I said I'm watching The Handmaid's Tale now. These big dramatic scenes. And I'm like, at the end of the day, they're like, a wardrobe, please.
Like she got lipstick on her bonnet.
Someone's got to cover with thing. And everyone's like, can't get through one scene without the hair. Am I right? Yeah. And everything's just like cold and concrete, but they make it look this like dark thing. So that's so foreign to people who aren't from. We're both from Philly.
You think everything's so big.
When I moved to South Jersey,
when you moved on up, huh?
When I moved on up, that's the South Jersey is the moving on up of Philadelphia.
Yes,
my parents, my steppapa and mom both got through college and got jobs as respiratory therapist, and we moved to South Jersey.
Yeah.
What was the point of what I was saying besides that?
About like seeing celebrity as like
the kid across the street, name was Dominic. he was in a scene that got cut out of Sixth Sense. I think just background also, but he was in the scene that he was going to be in the background of.
There were a lot of little M. Night Shyamalan people floating around Philly.
And he was.
We all had a few in our school. A background person. There's always a background M. Night Shyamalan person.
And he was in a Fruit Loops commercial where he says like 2 lines or whatever. And I mean, to the neighborhood, even you were like, this kid's might as well have been Leo DiCaprio.
My friend Dustin
goes, what is it even like to see a camera like that? It was so foreign to you. Yes. It seems like unattainable.
My friend Dustin was in high school, was in a Coca-Cola commercial. And it was the most, we were famous because he was in it. Do you know what I mean? It was I'm now famous. Like, do you understand? My friend was in it. And it was when my name dropping began. I never will stop name dropping. I love name dropping. I want to encourage everyone to name drop to me.
Sure.
If you give me a name drop, I will then name drop your name drop. Like, I will go. My,
I'm 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon from Kevin Bacon at this point.
Well, I'm friends with his daughter now. So boom, got him, bitch. Yeah, they're Philly, but Sosie's the fucking best.
She from Smile?
Yes.
I didn't know that was his daughter. They did the commercial together.
And then once you see it, you go like, that's his daughter. Now you can see it.
They did the commercial together now.
And then you realize that they both look like Jim Carrey. You go, that's because she came to the Comedy Store and we were like trying to take pictures and she's like, why do I look like Jim Carrey in every? She's so funny. She's the fucking best. But she's like, why do I look like Jim Carrey in every picture? I'm like, no, you don't. And I'm like looking at them like, you look exactly like Jim Carrey in every single picture. Like, this is the craziest thing.
What's funny was that was in South Jersey. That kid lived across the street, and I definitely had the same thing too. I'm like, wow, he really did a movie. But the craziest thing, because he was almost a celebrity because I was younger than him a little bit. My school, like until probably from like 5th till I was in like 9th grade, Seth Green was always a grade or 2 ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
And was sometimes
and a couple feet below you.
Sometimes like homework would be like, so everyone knows Seth from school is in the It miniseries starting tonight. So everyone's homework is to go support Seth.
Go watch that rollerblading movie. Was Airborne.
It's why I know all of his young stuff. Radio Days we had to watch. Can't Buy Me Love, which
they're all good, by the way. He's been in. Of
course.
Can't Hardly Wait. It was incredible.
That was past that, but I like Can't Hardly Wait.
Of course, you still probably watch them all because of. Do you still do your homework even though you're not told to?
Oh yeah.
Your Seth Green homework.
Oh yeah.
I do Seth Green homework.
But he's
But he was like Philly,
right?
So he was my homework too. Like we claimed, my reach for name dropping was far. Like I didn't have to meet you.
And one girl, Summer Miller, was in a straight to videotape movie starring Ray Parker Jr., the guy who sings Ghostbusters.
Wow.
He was the star of I forget what the movie was called, but she plays his daughter in like a scene.
Everyone was like, oh my God.
Summer Miller, and everyone was like, but it's a mind blow. You're like, so you were there, like, what's Hollywood like? And it's almost like, no, you're in it because they clearly filmed it in Philly.
It a little bit, but they do.
But Hollywood, though, right? Like, did you go? Did you see it in that Chinese theater?
But my friend Dustin, so from there, I don't know if he did any other acting, but he like moved to Hollywood and then he became the acting coach of all of like Will Smith's kids and stuff. Like that little taste gave him full access to the world. He did pass away. We love you, Dustin.
My pop-up was so into entertainment. And
it's my favorite trivia
comedy. He was so into entertainment that like he died when I was 10 and definitely like showed me Buddy Hackett, which was like dirty comedy when I was younger, and Mel Brooks movies and everything. And he was just so in the bummer of him dying was that I was like, man, I try not to, because I've taken so for granted. I'm like fucking LA and blah blah. And then look down and realize that I'm like, my grandfather would have shit if I was able to show, and I would have been able to show
Name
him.
on the Wall, the Comedy Store, all that shit.
That would blow his mind. Just walking over goes, Carol Burnett's, star, and there's the theater they're talking about. He would have been like, whoa, like, it would have blown his mind.
If you lean in, here's the thing. I used to be the New York, fucking fuck LA, whatever. It's so fun here. It's so great. If you just lean into it. And by the way, New York, I was one of the New York talking shit. No one here is talking shit on New York. Like, we're having such a good time. Like, we're so rich. It's sunny. We're like, you just walk around, you just see celebs everywhere. You're just like performing for Quentin Tarantino. It's
weather's great.
It's so, I've hung out with Quentin Tarantino like 4 times now.
That's hilarious.
And I'm just going to work. I don't do anything.
He was just at the store.
Oh, it's just the greatest.
But that's
I was like, I had this conversation with Quentin Tarantino the other day. Are you mad at me? I never in my life thought I'd go to Quentin Tarantino. Are you mad at me?
Hey, we're still cool, right? Because I didn't you knew him long enough to know. Well, it's funny, but you have to, like, those things are like, they're important to, like, not get bitter on, because I remember saying that when I was doing, like, TV shows, like, I was hating because he had to write so much stuff. Like, I hate, or I love the 1880s.
Oh,
It was
that was
History
funny.
Channel's,
That
like,
was funny,
spin-off of, like, I love the 90s and all that stuff. I was like, I love the 18, and so it was.
But that's
a
so annoying. You have to read
History
and
Channel
write.
joke. Yeah, so but the thing was, like,
I'd rather just watch Seth Green movies.
and I knew that the next day I was gonna have to wake up at, like, probably 5 a.m. to be there. So I was up in Long Island, and I got to be there by like 8 a.m.
Nightmare.
And they're not even gonna fucking start filming. I know, because I did it already, a couple of episodes. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna sit there for 3 hours before we film, and then it's gonna be hot, and I'm gonna be sitting like this.
And then they're gonna keep feeding you the lines again. They're gonna be like, say it like this.
Say it again. I also probably just don't like anything I wrote.
Right.
I think it all sucks anyway. I'm not a history guy. I'm just writing the most, like, superficial joke. And then it's just like bitching about that. And I was like, that's why I say I tell a story with a kid across the street and the people in school. Because I was like, yo, but if you would have told, like, 13-year-old me that one day you'd be bitching about having to go do a television show on cable that is accessible. You could just tell anyone in your family, put on so-and-so at 9 o'clock on this show. And you'd be bitching about it. You'd be like, what a fucking jerk off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Go do I Love the fucking 18. Like, it wasn't like I didn't need the money. Who am I? You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I need the money also.
Yes.
But I'm like, this isn't my dream. It's like, but you're doing a TV show because you need money.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
All right, we're back at Lightheaded Trivia. We decided to call it, right?
Why are you being bad at this all of a sudden?
That's
my
what we
God,
decided to call it.
Lightheaded Trivia.
Yeah, so we have our guest from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's Big J Oakerson.
Go ahead.
And then in the next corner, we have the host from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Wincoat.
Annie Lederman. All right, so I think we know the rules of the game.
A thing just happens, and then we answer the trivia.
We do a hit of a foreign substance, but no one knows what it is, and then we answer trivia questions. So who's gonna go first?
Let's have Jay go first.
All right, Jay will go first. All right, so yeah, when you're ready, just take a big whiff.
Okay.
What could it be?
All right, hold it in. All right, I got a good one. You ready? All right. What year was the very first model of the iPhone released? It's a hard one.
What's the whipped cream does come out? 2006.
Oh, it's close. 2007.
Oh, I would have gotten
close.
that.
No, you wouldn't have.
I would have.
The substance took a year away from my knowledge.
All right. Now you put yours down.
All right.
All right, you ready?
All right, I got a good one for you. Ready? All right, hold it in. All right, you ready? How many films did Sean Connery play James Bond in?
6.
Oh, so close. It was 7.
Oh, I would have gotten that.
All right.
Ooh, I do get a little bit. I'm like Sean Connery.
All right. Should I stay with these pop culture ones? These
Yes,
are cool, right?
come on. It's, like, give me a chance.
Yeah.
All
All right.
Ooh.
Yep.
Hang on.
Ready. All right. This is another year one.
Ooh.
In what year was the first
7.
episode of South Park aired?
Wait, say it again.
What year was the first episode of South Park aired?
Ooh. Okay, wait.
1997.
That's correct.
Can I tell you
Nice.
something? I was going to say 1996, the year after I graduated high school. And then I go, every time we've been off by one. It's been
And you
7.
added
And I made it to 7.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like your
All while lightheaded.
yes, your reasoning skills.
All right. I got one. It's going to be hard, but I think you might be able to get it. All right. Hold it in. You ready? Which actress won the Oscar for Best Actress in 2003?
Jennifer Hudson.
Is that your final answer?
Oh God, 2003. Where was I?
2003.
I was in
I'm trying to
college.
wonder what movie this is.
I was thinking Dreamgirls, but
She gets it wrong. Could I guess?
Yeah. 2003.
2003. I was in college 3 years, so I was still a freshman. Was it Kate Winslet? No.
You want to try?
Halle Berry.
No. It was Nicole Kidman.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to figure out what movie that could have been.
You were
Far and away.
thriving. You were thriving, and it's time to go, lady. It's time to move on, my dear.
Oh, how annoying is it when she introduces the AMC
It's
movies?
like,
And a moving picture.
oh
All right.
God.
Here we go.
There it is. All right. The question is, which European nation was said to invent hot dogs? So which European country said they invented hot dogs? If you think about
It's gonna be
it,
some neutral bullshit.
You're
no,
giving
if you think about it,
clues?
it'll make sense.
You're giving clues?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, the obvious first answer I would say is Germany, but I don't think it's Germany. I'll say Germany.
Germany is correct. Yeah, that's right.
I was going to say France.
Yeah, well, I said.
I saw you. I
know.
You're like, food? I meant food. All right, my turn.
I guess because of brats.
So he
They
definitely
probably
won
think.
at this point because he's won two.
Yeah, so you
But
could
if
just
I
get
win
on the
one, it
board.
counts as two because I'm so fucking uneducated.
Yeah, Annie's next both questions are worth two.
Because
you got to
I'm-
make it interesting. You
Yes,
could possibly
yes.
win, and I want to
Okay.
do more with it.
What?
Yes,
what?
I know. It's like we need to get like a tank. We're like, wow.
I know.
wow,
We
wow.
wanted to do like a helium.
You want
thing.
to go wah wah upstairs for
Yeah,
a little
like,
bit? Just wah,
wow,
wah,
wow,
wah,
wow,
wah,
wow.
wah.
And it's so short. That's the fun part.
They're all dead?
It's so sad. All right.
All right, we're going to do it for 2 points then.
All right,
for
ready?
the tie.
Ready? What does the DC stand for in the DC comics? You know, like DC, like Batman.
Yes.
The Flash. Aquaman.
Dork can't get laid.
No, it was Detective Comics.
Detective
Oh.
Comics? Way
If I got that
nerdier.
wrong, I would have been bummed though, because that's the whole thing. It was Batman.
Yeah.
Was a detective. That was his big thing.
Oh, Batman was a detective?
Well,
I thought he was just a rich guy.
I think the original Batman comic books weren't called Batman; they were called Detective.
Detective
Comics,
Man?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Detective Man.
Detective Man.
All right, so Big J wins.
All
She
right,
wins.
I'm 0 for 2, guys.
Tank.
Oh my God,
Are
we
there
do.
any
Dumped
losers?
it.
Are there any losers in lightheaded
Philadelphia?
trivia? Not this week. Not this week. Don't you say it.
We had fun, guys, and we got high doing it. Just kidding. We just got a little lightheaded.
Yeah.
Everything's
Camp party.
fine.
Complete knockout game.
All right.
The bedroom is where me and Todd thrive. You may
Ooh.
think this is us peaking here, but you need to see us in between the sheeking. Okay?
Ooh.
Todd and I know how to spice it up. Okay?
And it's time to spice things up in the bedroom and stop having that boring sex. Get in the mood with these dipsy stories.
Because sometimes we live together, we work together.
Well, everyone knows that we like to do, the medical bed
We
stuff.
have our medical bed.
So we do a lot of nurse. I'm the nurse. She's the sick person.
Yeah, I usually go. Sometimes we don't even use lube. We actually will use a NyQuil of sorts around the genitals. We always hit up Dipsy. Listen, When we're not getting tipsy off of cough syrup rubbed on our genitals, we're using Dipsy.
Now, Dipsy, I mean, what can I say about this product? It's just, I listen to it and immediately I'm getting horned up. I'm getting a chub.
Let's just say it goes from my ears to my groin, sopping wet.
Dipsy is an app with hundreds. And when I say hundreds, I mean hundreds.
100 plus.
Of short, sexy audio stories.
We don't have time to listen to a full story, okay? We got...
And they're by
excrement to come
women
out.
for women.
They're for women. Todd does. Todd does enjoy them.
That's
Todd
my
enjoys them.
favorite.
He takes one earbud, I take the other. I put mine in my ear. He puts his up his hole. But he can feel the vibration of the Dipsy story in his cavity. And it really does harden. It stiffens him up.
Listen, I listen to Dipsy. I put on a nice lesbo sexy story, and within minutes, I am swollen down there. I am.
Todd really is into girl on girl, but when I say that, I mean like a woman's march type of girl. You know what I mean? He likes a strong, empowered woman to be empowered by another strong woman. And so Dipsy has all of that for him. And he gender bends. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that this is targeted towards women. Todd and I can enjoy everything together. And that's the beauty of living and working with the one you love.
My favorite part is that there's new content is released every week. So there's always something new to explore.
Let's just say my loins put the C in Dipsy because they are wet and filled with a fishy smell.
The app also features soothing sleep stories, wellness sessions, and sexy stories you could read.
And you know what? Sometimes I'm having a little anxiety before we do it. So instead of even putting a sexy thing, I'll put in a calming one. I'll just lay back. We call it the DF, okay? The dead fish. And I just let him fisher me, if you know what I mean. Fisherman me.
You take her body, use her body, and and it works. There it is.
And I just act noodly. I am kind of a wet noodle for him, and he can kind of just move me around. And, for listeners of the show, Dipsy is offering an extended 30-day free trial when you go to dipsystories.com/AnnieWood, and you will get wood, Ladywood. That's 30 days of full access for free when you go to DIPSEA stories.com/AnnieWood. dipsystories.com/AnnieWood. We get it. You're tired of your dick sticking to your balls.
It's uncomfortable. It's sweaty. Nobody likes it.
It makes it stinky down there, too. You need them separated. Enter Sheath Underwear. It has 2 pouches, one for your dick and one for your balls.
That's 2 pouches. That's the magic number here. Because 1 pouch, it's not enough. Your balls and your dick still stick together.
1 package,
2 pouches. 3 pouches. You don't need your balls.
What,
separated.
You have separate balls?
I get these underwear. They got 3 pouches in them. You're supposed to put 1 ball in one ball in the other, and then your coquino and the coquino pouch.
Do you ever put 2 in 1? Squish them over to the side?
Part. Your balls need to stay together. That's why 2 is the magic number, not 3, not 1, 2.
Look, balls never separate, but that pepper should be separate.
Sheath underwear comes in tons of cool patterns. This is why I like it, to help you look good and feel comfortable.
And here's what I will tell you about comfortable. Todd's dick has never looked bigger.
Oh, it makes your hog look like a meaty dragon.
It looks like a boar, okay? But you won't be bored.
Just picture.
Okay, your regular package is like this, okay? It's all squished together. It's one thing.
Your turtle's in its shell.
The sheath now, there's 2 compartments. So you're putting your balls in one, so that's already lifting it out a little bit. And then your penis. It's 3D, baby. It's 3D. Bring your penis to 3D.
And it makes it larger because you got your schlang in there.
You're schlonging.
And it's bent over, so it's kind of just pulling it out of your turtle shell, because you don't want your turtle to be nervous or shy during the day. You want it to have full confidence.
You want it to be a full Teenage Mutant Ninja.
I mean, run around and live your dreams without your balls stuck to your leg. I hate that.
No, I hate it. I can always tell too. I go, Todd, you're making that face again. He
Yeah.
grimaces. I go, oh my God, are your balls stuck to your leg?
And for all the chefs out there, you don't have to put the cornstarch on your balls
Oh,
anymore.
no,
That's such
no.
a pain in the ass. You come home with yeasty balls. You don't like that.
No. We don't want to, your balls shouldn't look like dough, okay? For our ladies in the audience, check out Sheath's sports bras, bikini briefs, and boy shorts, okay?
Ooh.
I put separate lips everywhere. You know who likes my boy shorts even more? Todd.
Ooh, I like when she looks like a lesbian walking around the house. I get so chubbed up, so I immediately start getting swollen.
You guys, these underwear are awesome. They actually are really cool. Todd, he's not only does his package look larger than it usually does, which is pretty big, but it looks even bigger. He's comfortable. It's separate. Things aren't sweating. They're not smelling as much. And the patterns are awesome. We love balls at this podcast, okay? AnnieWood is a ball-friendly place. You know I like to sign your balls. Please come to my shows, to my meet and greets. I want to see your balls kept separate so that they have the best surface to be signed when I sign your scrotums on the road. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use code Annie to get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. So you can stench them up. If you don't like it, you say, I want to keep those balls together.
It's risk-free.
It's risk-free. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code Annie. Get Sheath Underwear, support the show, and support your balls. But all of those things too, like the girl codes, all of the they give you topics and then you like answer and write the things ahead of time. You're like, it's truly like, looking back, it is the easiest.
It's easier.
It's the easiest because there were times when I did girl code for like a couple years, and there were times where I would write all the jokes out, and then there were other times where I was like lazy and I was like, I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah.
And either one was fine. Do you know what I mean?
Fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Either one was like, how do I want to feel about myself and my work ethic?
Well, I've said this so much ad nauseum, but it's like the funny that you were that made people tell you, or you thought to yourself, I should try stand-up comedy, was thoroughly unprepared.
Mm-hmm.
But if you and your friends were like, we're going to go to this history museum and they're going to explain all the things, and you were able to whisper to your friends, like, it's the quality of what's going. Yeah. That's the one thing I had to realize too. When I'm like, man, my stuff's not even good. It's not even that funny. And then you realize that's what I like, not going first on roasts, on things, because you're like, and it's not even a dig on my, I'm like,
Yes.
I'm still walking up saying my stuff's not that great. And then you watch it and you go like, no one's stuff is that great.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, I'll go up for it. I'm like, I'll at least blend in the mix. You know what I mean? Maybe
But
I got
also,
a shot at being the best one, but I'll at least look like I'm not supposed to be there.
When you go first, you miss the opportunity to have an in the moment joke too.
Yeah.
You know, like, because I do love doing roast, but I get like really pissed during them. So I'm like, oh, they're gonna call me fat again. Oh, I'm fat bitch now. Okay. If at the right moment I can destroy my set, if I have the right amount of anger igniting me, do you know what I mean? If I can really like, oh, Jim Norton, really? You want to say that about me, bitch? Like, I'll go, I went on the road with you. I know shit about you.
Yeah, so you were saying when you were asking me to politely finger your asshole or something.
You just like ruin someone's career.
Secrets.
It's like, oh, don't forget, I'm keeping all your secrets.
That's why I'm so surprised that comics like bark up at all at stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like turning on people. It's like, you're just asking someone to find the time you said.
It's so,
like you're begging somebody to do. It's like you've done this. How are you so mad at me?
It's
You've done
so
this.
weird, and they always have something.
I hate how much I love Andy Kindler and how funny I think Andy Kindler is. And I think I've said his name on a couple things now, and I feel bad. This isn't shit talking.
Yeah.
Him. I don't even know if he knows he doesn't like me, but he hates my genre. And it's a guy that I've always gotten along with, and I love him. I think he's funny. But it's like, if you hate that, you hate. You know what I mean? You hate me. You're just not aware.
You know what it is? People get angry, and I'm not going to speak for him. People get angry when they see something succeeding, right? And they go, but that's not what I do. So that's bad, right? Think about like the whole Nanette thing, okay? When Nanette happened, everyone was pissed, right? But it's also like, literally, who cares? Let Nanette do her fucking thing. Like, if people like
I
it,
swear to God, it's
let
like,
Nanette do her fucking
I'm
thing.
not the audience for it.
Yes, it's like,
love
let
it.
Nanette rise. Like, but
I
the
can make
reason
fun
it
of
pissed,
it,
but you want to know
but,
why
like-
it pissed everyone off or pissed someone like me off? It was all the people that were going, this is the comedy now. Like, this isn't good. Remember when everyone was like, when Louis got popped and everyone was like, Louis was never funny. And you're like, Louis was never funny.
Oh, that's insane. Well, then the Hannah Gatsby.
If Louis was never funny, then those girls weren't assaulted in any way. Do you understand? Then there's no power hierarchy.
The call out on Hannah Gatsby I ever had where I was like, fuck, because the thing is like we made fun of the special because it's like a make fun ofable thing.
Oh, it's the most funny thing to make
so
fun
we
of.
did it on the radio and stuff, but I don't hate it. I'm like,
Of course. Happy for your success, baby.
I go, that's not going to make, and I promise you, it makes not one person not become a fan of her that was going to. You know what I mean? I've had fans of mine come up and they go, I thought it was like good. It wasn't like a comedy thing, but I thought it was really good. I'm like, sure. I don't know. I just wanted to even watch it.
I watched the whole thing. I didn't tap out. I'll tell you that.
But
I can't say that for many people.
Well, I mean, I waited for the Shyamalan twist on that one when it went from lighthearted to screaming and yelling. But it's fun. Oh, that was my
just
one of my
remember
favorite
the
things
part
ever
when
was
she
us
did the
doing it on Bonfire. We'd play those moments and put the Bernie Mac's kick
yes,
it.
Oh, that was so fucking funny.
She's like, you don't touch a 16-year-old girl. Kick it.
It's all funny. We all deserve to make fun of it.
I'm something years old now. Come try now to hold me down. Kick it.
She actually said the funniest thing that made me like totally.
Well, the thing that made me like go like, but fuck her, actually,
was when she got mad for being made fun of.
Yeah, he goes, what are you pissed at? No, it was just an interview she did, and she goes, if you're doing comedy just to make people laugh, then get out of the way. You're wasting people's time. And I was like, and I mean this. Let's not even talk about the best comics in the world or what you think of their thing. Like, they asked the question: should Brian Regan, Carrot Top, Dave Attell, should they not do comedy because they have nothing? They're not doing anything poignant. Because they're just saying the funniest. They're the funniest
just
fucking
making people laugh the hardest they've laughed, depending on what happened during their day.
It's not the funniest thing on how the government treats soldiers. Or it's just like the it's just a fucking. It's a joke about fruit bowls being plastic or it's like who cares?
Yeah,
it's just the funniest shit. I thought that was bizarre. I'm like, lady. Also, and my big thing was without even watching your special. This is speculation, but I feel comfortable saying it. You better hope to God that everybody in comedy doesn't do what you do, because I promise you're not the best at that.
Yeah, you could get passed by that. But I
you'll
think
be zipless. You better hope that you are creating a genre of like cry laughter.
Jay, the people that were like Nanette is what funny is now, and Louis was never funny. Those people, to me, it seems like they know it's more obtainable for them to become a Nanette than a Louis, because like how are you going to get that brain, you know?
Oh, I thought you were going to say because one requires laughs.
One's a man. No, but that's what I mean. But it's like it would
now
be
you
like
go get raped. You want to be like Louis? You want to be out there looking for your fucking rape story?
You might need to meet Louis actually to become Nanette. You have to meet Louis
because worlds collide. That might open a vortex.
They bring each other what they need. But,
Louis was never funny. Is such a great. He wasn't funny ever.
But it is when people when there's like a I don't know how to say this without because I can't talk about the situation I want to talk about.
By the way, Louis never even stopped being funny. I bet some of the funniest things he said
had his penis out while he was doing it.
No, we're behind closed doors of. After everything went down.
Yeah.
I bet his humor about it itself.
I thought you were going to say behind closed doors, he was standing in front of with his penis out.
Well, it had to be so dark that, the fact that he survived, it means like in that house, two friends, like he said the funniest, most inappropriate thing. Like,
yeah, the day the New York Times article came out, one person got a call and it was the best line they've heard ever.
Just tore him down.
Just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, but I think like with an Andy Kindler, you I'm sure he does like you.
Well, here's what happened.
So then he's making it a thing that's not a real person that you're mad at. Like there's a lot of people that will do that. Like they don't book women and you're like, I'm on the lineup.
He reached out to me the first time we talked and started, then we'd see each other at the festivals and always bullshit.
He's great.
And I think he's from well before I was in comedy. I just always dug his thing.
He's so funny. I love him.
And and so he heard me on Mark Maron's show, which was a very directed thing. It was very I did a one-man show, just stories about driving strippers and escorts and starting comedy.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. And he just, my Mark Maron was just, like I said, it was directed. It was like
Yeah.
tame for what I would do, I'd
Right.
say. And he just liked it. He reached out to me. He's like, I heard your Mark Maron, very interesting and blah, blah. And I look forward to meeting you. And we'd hang at the festivals and bullshit. I mean, literally, like sit down, like shoot the shit for a half hour or something. I met his wife. And I just go, oh, I think he probably never really dug in or watched anything that I actually do. Cause like, the way he came at Louis and Shane, like he celebrates their failure.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, dude, like relax, man. Like, you're like such a fucking great comedy guy. What a great, like, I would never use the word ally, but what a great person that would stand with comedy.
Yeah.
Man. Like, come on, do you really think like that's nuts?
Well, I don't stand with Shane. That piece of shit. Shane, come on the show.
He goes, Shane, not at all.
Shane,
Yes, but you know,
Shame Gillis is what I call him. Because shame on him.
Shame
Shame on that guy.
Me and him are gonna have. I love me and Shane are gonna have such a memory. We're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
I know,
together.
it's so cool.
That's wild.
I remember my first Shane was my first Shaning was with you, Christine, Peggy O'Leary. I don't know who else was there.
After barbecue.
Yeah, where were we? We were
Roof?
watching.
We go on my roof.
No, I think it was to a movie. We saw a movie. I feel like I've seen a lot of movies with you.
It's possible, but we know we never got to watch Cops.
Cops, I know.
Then they took
we
it off
had
the.
plans.
By the way, we haven't done it in so long that since they've taken Cops off the air and brought Cops back.
I know, and they also now you can watch Cops on Twitter in very shorter form, and it's much darker.
Yeah, they make
it's much scarier.
It's a little darker, but the memes are more funny.
The memes are pretty hilarious. No, yeah, we were gonna watch that. That would have been fun. Yeah,
Didn't
I moved.
you say she used to always talk about a story
Oh,
about
when we were
like all
in.
the time?
Wait. The girl that came. Okay, when we were at Comedy Works in Denver.
Mhm.
This is like
I
this
told
is a hard
recently.
to translate story.
It is. I've
It's
tried.
a hard to translate story, but I don't care because tears are welling in my eyes right now. This was one of the funniest things. It's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Yes, so we'll tell it.
Yeah.
So a girl came to the show on Thursday, which actually means you guys didn't even meet her that night because you guys came in Friday.
Yeah.
But she was at the show Thursday, and I was asking, like, what do you do on the stage? And she was like, wax, like hair waxing and hair removal. And I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, what do you wax? She goes, you can wax anything. And through the conversation, she says she does like nostril waxing and ear waxing, all this stuff. And I was like, really? I was like, I'd get my nostrils waxed. I would try that. She goes, well, I'm coming back to the show Saturday, so I'll bring my stuff. I go, yeah, bring it.
Yeah, there's like
Maybe.
a condo. There's like a cool area.
Like a block away.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to go, and Kurt and Annie will be here. It'll be funny. I'm always like, which I never do anyway. I'm like, oh, I need content. And I don't make any content. I just do the
If
thing.
that, I wish that had been filmed.
I know.
I have a live picture of it somewhere.
Yeah.
Where if you hold it,
Yeah,
you
with the
can
picture
see.
you have is of such a moment. It's great.
I gotta find it.
So she comes to the show. We all bullshit after the show. She's nice. She's not a lunatic, seems like. So her friend, she brought her friend too,
Yes.
which was odd. But I guess safe.
Yeah,
I
she didn't
don't
wanna-
know if she knew that like there was gonna all of us were at the con
Right.
staying
She
there.
thought it was
So
just gonna be.
she was fine. There was more women than guys there at that point. But me and we go upstairs to the condo.
And I'm like, I'll get something waxed.
Everybody was like,
wax.
everybody's on down. And Kurt was like, he'll do the nostrils too. And then
That's a lot of nostrils.
so
too.
I go first. And I sit down and she puts the wax on and puts it up and squeezes it shut. She puts the other one up there.
There's like sticks coming out of his nose, okay?
And the squeeze just I'm all,
and his
I'm all mouth
nose
breathing.
is like, it's hard.
Yeah, it's mouth
hard.
breathing.
And there's sticks coming out.
Yeah. And she goes, and when she finished putting the stick in, she goes, I think I have to take it. Like they keep calling. And she goes, hello? And she goes, no, what? No, it can't be.
No.
She goes, no, why? Why does this keep happening?
And she's screaming and crying, okay?
She says, and I mean this, she goes, well, we got to get an autopsy.
We're crying because it's in his nose. Like we're
She
like,
goes, we have to get an autopsy. Like this can't be happening again, which is making me think. Now I'm just like,
it's gonna kill.
someone keeps killing. So like it's like
But it's.
I
I'm
think
like,
it's a
I've
person.
never laughed in someone's own like trauma, like harder. Like I was like,
So she's on the phone for 2-3 minutes.
crying,
Really going through
screaming.
saying, call the police. She's
Call
telling
the police. She's like,
call
call the police.
and blah,
Call
blah,
the
blah.
police.
She goes, oh my God. And she hangs up and she's in a mid-panic attack. And before she tells us what happens, this is just what the scariest thing. This is what's hard to articulate. It's hard to articulate what I mean when I say this, but this was such a moment because these things are just sticking out my nose. And I haven't said a word. I'm just looking at her like mouth breathing.
And I'm laughing so hard.
Annie's falling to pieces, and Kurt is sort of like, Kurt's got like the what's happening.
Laughing so, I'm like, I don't know how to not laugh in this bitch's face. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
When she puts that phone down, she's just having like the, oh my God. And it was the crazy, she walks by me and goes, she just grabs the sticks, but she doesn't pull them out. She just like, you know what I mean? It's like grabbing someone by the throat, but not really just going like, oh, I could do this. So she walks by and she goes like, ah, and I'm like, ah, and then she just kept walking. She's like, she didn't take them out. And then I was like, what's going on? And she goes, like my dog died today. And then it didn't even make sense because we're like,
why
how old was the dog?
autopsy?
She was like 13. It was like something that was like
but
appropriate.
this just couldn't happen. This couldn't. We're like, you need to leave, bitch. Pull the thing out of your
pull the thing out because that was so. When she walked by and like lunged at the thing, it was so scary.
It was unsafe. It was unsafe for her to be that
what
upset
a time
about
to be
the dog.
falling apart, and you gotta look at her with sympathy with like popsicle sticks.
You could not. I was like trying not to look at you guys. I was like, oh.
If I would have laughed, I would have snot rocketed them out of my
God, I
thing.
was dying. And it's so painful. She did it up to my nose. It's so painful.
So painful. And then, by the way, immediately after we did it, I read nothing other than articles saying like the hairs way up your nose are
so
very,
important.
very, very important. Like if you got the day COVID landed down in this place, if you had your nostrils waxed, you had COVID for sure.
We have this.
They couldn't even take the sample because there's nothing to swipe up there.
You never know how hairy the inside of your ears are. We have a thing. We did like a video where you could go in. It's
the
so
camera
nasty.
in the ear.
Yeah.
But it is really. It's just you just get really like. Ugh.
Yeah, I
You
think.
go, oh, that's what's in there. It's not like as satisfying.
Bobby Kelly sent me one of those. What is it? How does it get it super clean?
Here's the thing. This is not the one to get it
It's got
clean.
a camera on it.
Little racist too, huh?
It's making my ears itch.
It's got a camera on it, and there's a scoop. So you just put
But
it
the
in, and there's a
scoop
light
isn't-
on it.
The scoop isn't like strong enough to really pull.
And then you just find the boogers and you just scrape it
needs
out.
it needs to be a sharper scoop, but I think they're afraid they'll damage your ears. So it's
Yeah.
kind of,
I want to try it.
but it's fun. I know. I'm like, maybe we should just make that like a segment on every episode. No, that really was like,
Yeah, it became pretty gross.
That's the opening. That's one of the best like evening factors to like a pretty girl though. It's like, yeah, that girl's hot, right? Look at her inner ear canal.
how can
It'd
you
be funny
do
to have
it?
constant pictures of like hot friends of yours and stuff that come like with the cut picture of the inner ear and just be like, you know, who do you like? And he goes, I think Kendall Jenner is hot.
Yeah,
And you
check
go,
this out.
That's the inside of her ear.
I think that's like that would be like good for the world. To
It
be like,
does
you
because it'll
can't-
make somebody shake less when they meet Kendall Jenner. He goes, you know what? The inside of her ear is disgusting.
Why don't you just look at her high school
That's
pictures?
one of my best skills. Black Lou from The Bonfire, he's asked him his favorite thing about The Bonfire to him is my ability to see a girl, know she probably doesn't want to fuck me, and then I can go and tell you why I won't fuck her. Even though I would, but I can tell you why the prettiest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's wrong with
Show
her?
a picture of Emily Ratajkowski. I'll tell you the problems with her.
The
to
lips,
me,
it's too close. The
that's
lips
what I'll
too
say.
close
Yeah,
to
there's sometimes
the.
there's a little too much real estate here.
It's like the lips too close up to the nose.
You got to
It's
see it, but I
fish
can always
like.
go through all. You know, sometimes it gets
Tits are too big. It's like
lot of felt between the eye pockets. You know what I mean? Too much of that,
the
or a
tits
little
are
too
so
close.
big. There's probably like too much sweat. It's probably like
Or
smells
absolutely
weird.
he goes, yeah, well, she's 25. Like those at 35 are already going to be nasty.
yeah. This is her last run. Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
It's just my easy to go, how can you say? I go, no, honest to God, like I'd leave Christine tomorrow for this girl if she gave me the time of day. I'm just telling you, she's not just going to say she won't fuck me. I'm telling you, I'm not fucking her. You fucking far apart-eyed bitch.
Yeah, your eyes are fucking weird. We were just laughing
Hey,
about.
Amanda Seyfried. She
We
goes,
were
look, I
laughing
suck
about-
your dick. I go, I'll allow it.
It's so
When I was
annoying.
in the crowd work shows, it's like that was the only time I've had to give motivational speeches, and those speeches really were the most polite, and I mean encouraging way to say you're being a crazy pussy. Like, because that's what people always think. Like, what if I go last and everything's already been said? He goes, You don't think you have enough questions?
You can't
can
come
ask
up with the next
person?
thing. I love doing those shows.
I mean, that's fucking.
What's that show called?
What's your fucking deal?
What's your fucking deal?
It's more fun.
Are you still doing it?
We'll do them live sometimes. Yeah. That's the most fun because.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And you have like when I did it, DeRosa was in the audience. I mean, there's nothing more fun than just like I don't have to say one thing to the audience. If Joe's there, I'm good.
Exactly.
I will just.
But that's kind of fun. The show,
but
the whole thing is like just go, like just like exactly shit on Joe the whole time if you want. Like Joe and Joe will say shit on you, and you have a great.
So fun.
It'll be like a yeah, that's great. Where you can fuck with someone. It's.
I haven't been to New York since Joe started his sandwich shop.
You gotta go.
I can't wait to go.
I look at those sandwiches and I'm like, oh my God.
Like he did it.
Guy throws down a
found
sandwich.
His thing.
Yeah, he really did. I tell you, I mean, I thought
it was pitbull jokes.
Well before.
I thought I was getting spit on by women for doing jokes about pitbulls. But it turns out it's sandwiches. Okay, whatever.
Well, I was at the Crowd show, but I think it's so much more fun to go towards the end because now your whole premise has been written.
Yeah.
You already know Mike and Tina are married. It's been not that long, but they have too many kids too fast.
Well, you know what it is people that are lazy and don't watch because I won't watch and then I'll go. When I go on stage, I'll go like this.
No, I curate it so you don't have to watch because the person in the audience, you can go. So, do you have a job? And then, or, Joe, what do we know about this guy? Joe goes, they're married. I don't think it's going well, whatever. And then you can play it. And then that's a feed where then you can go, why isn't it going well? And they go, we said it wasn't going. And then Joe, why do you think it's not going well? That just makes it move. I love that.
Oh, it's so fun. I when I go up at the Comedy Store, I'm usually like anywhere from 3rd to like 6th. There's something in the lineup.
Hey.
Perfect spot, guys. No big deal. Thriving. But so, if I go up and I'm like, your brothers or whatever, and the audience like, I go, oh, fuck you guys. Like, it is a fun time when it's already been done. You're like, oh my God, do you think I'm not gonna be able to get more juice out of this?
Yeah.
Oh wait, guys, I'm gonna only talk to them now.
My favorite thing on that is Nixon. I go, so I go, are you guys a couple? Oh, I go like, all right, geez. They go, I wasn't here. I guess somebody else. You guys already know that. Another comic asked that. I go, all right. Have you guys ever fisted your cunt in front of his mother? And I was like, I go, did someone ask that one also? And it's like that's almost the point of saying that's almost the thing with the crowd work show.
I go, Big J did that.
You can just say whatever you exactly. It's like I promise you, don't watch any of the show. Go up there. If you ask a question like, have you ever
who cares?
Have you ever sucked a guy's dick while in a planetarium? Probably no one's asked that yet. Probably,
Guys, come see my new show called "Have You Sucked a Guy's Dick in a Planetarium?" No,
we're gonna have to put some censor marks so we get it on YouTube.
My problem, what we were talking about in the very beginning of this show, with writing tags and jokes for people, is I will not relinquish the ownership. Like if they're on stage and the joke kills, like I'll like I wrote that. Like I can't give it away. I wrote that.
Yeah, I couldn't either.
I'm too cocky. I'm like, see the whole room's laughing. I wrote that. Like I won't stand up and go, I wrote that or anything, but like
when I did that with when I watched that roast, I said I wrote a couple jokes for people. And I was like, what? I go, hey, he didn't really do any of them. No, those weren't. They're not how I would have done them.
Yeah, it's close, but
I also never had. I couldn't imagine if someone had to write for me with something that's got some sort of action in it. So it's like, and you say, something quack like a duck, and then you walk in and go, like, there's no fucking chance I'm doing your written action.
Out?
Yeah.
Oh God, I love an act out.
And then do like an Indian chief thing. And
watching an act like I don't want to call Dan St. Germain an act out, but he does do some pretty deep act outs. But watching him bomb brings me so much joy because I know what's coming up and he knows what's coming up, and you'll see him go like, "Oh fuck." You gotta do it like no one's already laughing. Another thing you said that it reminded me of something that I don't know if I've told on here. Maybe I have. When you got the poster from your movie, when I was in high school, or not high school, when I was in middle school, I was really into Tom Cruise, and I was like, I would watch Rosie O'Donnell, and she had a crush on Tom Cruise.
It's cutie patootie.
So I had a crush on him, and Jerry Maguire came out, and so I went to Blockbuster and I asked them, they gave me the giant Jerry Maguire poster. I had that in my room.
Nice.
I don't want to brag.
That's a good pull.
But I also
Would you listen to Secret Garden and have your feet up on the wall?
I like to get where they were talking. There was like the montage of them. You complete me. I had Jonathan Lipnicki on my old podcast, Me Inspiration.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we went. I had kind of like trolled him on. He had blocked me on social
Lipnicki
media.
sounds like it should be the last name of only children.
No, it should be the last name of actually. Like if you look at him, you're like, that's a Lipnicki. Like he's so Lipnicki. But so I had when I was living in Santa Fe and I was like, just like a bartender and a go-go dancer, just a drunk bitch. I made him my number one person on MySpace.
Oh yeah, your top 5, right?
He was my top 8.
Top 8.
He was my number 1.
It was 5 faves for T-Mobile.
Yes. No, I never had T-Mobile.
Well, then you never had a
I
sidekick.
I didn't have a sidekick. Sorry. I had one of those the Palm Pilots. Remember those ones?
Oh yeah.
What was that? The trio, I think.
The sidekick was now would feel like when you pull out like the big screen TV with the cabinet.
It's insane. It's so crazy. I never had the sidekick. Sorry, but I thought it would be funny that I could get him to interact with me. He was like 16 at the time. I was probably like 21 maybe. And I would just be like, hey, you are so cool. Like, what do you, and he would like respond to me and I just thought it was so funny. So that was like a thing that I just did. People like know that about me. They know, people from Santa Fe are like, remember when you had crabs? Remember when you were talking to the kid from Jerry Maguire all the time? I would like show people like, he's writing me back. Right on his wall, I'd write me back. And so then me and one of the girls from Girl Code, I was like telling them the story. So then we're like, let's follow him on Instagram and see if he'll respond to us. So we would just tag each other in his things and write stuff. And he was like, just catching on. Like now he's a grown up. He's like, what? Are you making fun of me? And it wasn't even making fun of him. It was just like, I can't believe this person is like writing me and I have access to them. And so then eventually he like blocked me. And then Jordan Carlos did a movie with him. And he was like, hey, I'm with my friend Jonathan. He like said you were like trolling him and being mean to him. I mean, I guess I was kind of bullying, but it wasn't like really a bully. It was just like weird.
Jordan Carlos had to call you to like even. He goes, hey.
So then he unblocked me, and then we started going to the same chiropractor and seeing each other all the time. And he came on my podcast, but I never asked him the hard hitting questions like, "Where did they touch you?"
Yeah.
Child actor.
What was Renee Zellweger's original face like?
Yes. Tell me what she used to look like. I made Todd watch Empire Records with me the other day.
Not a bad movie.
Still good. Still good. I knew every line. It's like weird. I knew every line.
The floppy hair kid is annoying.
Where did he go? He didn't make it.
He was also in Bye Bye Love. And I can't remember him from anything else.
His name is Johnny Whitworth with the hair lip. Yeah. And he has the hair. And then I met the guy who played the one who spent the money in Vegas.
Rory Cochran, I think his name is, right?
I saw him at the Comedy Store.
He's the one that he was in.
He was in Dazed and Confused. He was a long haired kid in Dazed and Confused.
Oh, I don't know his name.
He's like, what is today, Joe? Todd, do you ever sniff my underwear?
I have to clean it, so it's.
Oh, I like when he admits it.
So we see he goes, dirty or clean?
And are you like, ooh, or do you like it?
No, it's pretty wafty for sure.
You like it?
It's pretty musky.
We're in love.
It's pretty husky.
I'm not trying. Don't edit it out.
Don't tell people.
Don't tell people No, I'm not like stinky pussy bitch though.
No, it's just long day underwear.
Hey, we're all human, right, kiddo?
No, but there was a guy that I hooked up with who was like, he would talk shit on, he'd be like, oh yeah, that girl's like a stinky pussy bitch, you know? And then he would always talk about like how he can smell, like he has extra smell. It was like my nightmare fucking him. I was like, I was always like, okay, so I'm not one of the smelly pussy bitches, right? That you pointed out? Like he just like made such a big deal about it. He was always like, if a girl's in her, if a hot girl in her 40s isn't married, she's a stinky pussy bitch.
Is that why you and Kurt broke up after he got his nostrils waxed?
I'm like, it's not me, right? I definitely I think it was before. I think I did it before.
That
Kurt.
was. Some say that was the day he fell out of love. He's never seen.
I've called ex-boyfriends from college and been like,
and Kurt's got nostrils the size of fucking Shaquille O'Neal shoes. Oh shit! And now hairless and taking in all those smells.
Oh god!
He's like, I can smell that you have to shit tomorrow.
Well, I don't know. I think my hair made up for the hair that was missing. Jay walked in on he saw me Bottomless. Is that okay?
Like in the bean?
No,
No,
I
no,
wasn't
no.
doing anything. I was just bush up.
No, she was asleep. We were supposed to go to, Kurt was supposed to come with me to radio the next morning.
Oh, I wasn't invited.
And
They already had a hole there.
No, you're wrong. I told you you were all invited to come, but you didn't have to be there. I didn't want to have you get up. It was like morning, stupid early morning. And I was like, Kurt. I'm like whispering from the door. I crack it, and he's not. I'm like, Kurt. I'm like knocking. I don't want to like. I also kind of
Kurt has just fallen asleep.
But also, if they want to just sleep through it, like I also don't want to make them have to go. It's not that big a deal. So like Kurt, and I just took like a few steps in. And I didn't see Annie at all, even because he was just like laying on his side. And I was like, Kurt, I was like, and I just got closer to her, and it's just Annie was just like this. The instant I saw her, it was like bottomless, where they're like pussy out. And then when I felt guilty enough to tell her when she woke up, and I go, and I'll describe it as this: I looked for 10 seconds longer than I should have, and 15 minutes less than I would have if we weren't friends.
Well, you know,
I really did a back out of the room though. I was like, Kurt, do you want to, Kurt? And I went, Kurt. And I went, no. All right.
It's like
and I know
if
I'm just
you
going to let
work-
them sleep.
if you work in comedy with people long enough, eventually a genital is shown.
All of
You're not wrong with that.
Annie's friends have a story about them walking in on Annie.
Yeah, our
either
friend.
flicking a bean.
I lived on our friend. Okay, he works. Todd's also he's an editor and he's a story producer on all these Netflix shows. Won an Emmy. Hello.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah.
Emmy Award winner. And then, so my friend Mike O'Dare is the showrunner on these shows. I used to live on his couch a bunch. Like every time I'm like homeless, I'm either in a car or on Mike O'Dare's couch. So he would but I would like live there for like long, like to the point where like eventually he'd be like, hey girl, it's time to go. Like, what are we doing? It's been 6 months, TikTok. I'm like fucking living it. He's rich. And I'm like, this is fucking awesome. He lived near Erewhon. I'd go get like $15 bottles of water. He's like, are you drinking an Erewhon? But anyway, so it was just fun. And we're friends, so we'd have fun. So, but I was on the couch living, so I would like masturbate on the couch and stuff. And there'd be times where he would just like come into his just regular house during the day and he'd just catch me like, zzz. He'd like be sitting, we'd be watching TV and he'd be like, am I sitting on your is this your dildo? There's like so many.
That's where I went. I've far more than comedians I've hooked up with. I've like seen a tit or titties or their pussy hair or their pussy or something or their butthole from some kind of just like literally just like the right night of like, is your butthole skin the same color as the around? And I was like, you know, I mean, it's like than I've ever hooked up with. I've had more of that because you're right. It's like it is such like a.
Well, it's like it's almost
that's
like
almost the problem. That's why like I know when that first started happening, why the guys got so upset when like some of the girls just started turning. You're like, yeah, I thought we were all just like
showing
like
each other
girls.
a little genital skin.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Everyone's like, why are you everyone mad now? Like,
no, I will say, obviously,
I can't. You to do it, you did it.
I honestly can't speak for the girls that were in the room with Louis, but I'm like, that seems pretty par for the course of this festival. It doesn't seem that crazy. I know maybe for them it was very crazy, but
well, I used to say like I didn't co-sign the action either, but like I do think it's a.
People used to pull their dicks out on stage. I used to see people's penises
sure, but
on
I'm
stage.
saying more, is there no margin of this at all that can be just like, what if like a veteran headliner and like a girl in comedy for a year or something like
each other?
Hit it off and want to fuck because they're attracted. I go, I don't understand why that is immediately. They go, no, you shouldn't do it because it's like work. It's like, it's not work though. It's
not work, but that's why it's such a weird, it is a weird.
Like, why is, I don't understand why it's like, I don't think.
Well, you know what? I never even
it's my personality because if I thought, unless I thought that girl wanted to fuck, she would never be in my, unless it was also line drawn very early. We're not going to fuck. Let's go smoke pot. I've done that plenty too. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, pot stoned.
But I also, okay, wait. So, but my thing is like at festivals, I have like gone to people's rooms, so not gonna fuck them, so not like, and we just hang out and it's fine. It never even occurred to me until Tommy Johnigan once, we were at, I can't remember what festival, but he was like, hey, do you want to hang out? He's like, I have a girlfriend, we're in love, I don't cheat on her. Do you want to just come hang out? And I was like, would not have even considered that you were trying to, like, it was so nice of him and polite and like
Sure.
nice, but it was like, it didn't even occur to me. So I can see where maybe you go into a room and it's like, wait, this is what it is. But it would be fun. Like to
Well, I think
me,
it's fun. If I thought back in time,
I wouldn't think it, for them, it's their experience. But for me, I would probably have thought it was funny.
But if I had to pinpoint something where I'm like, whatever the level of like that, like abusing the situation is, I think it's more like it would be said that I've said, well, if we're not going to like hook up, I think I'm going to probably kick out soon. So go to
Yeah.
sleep. So, and maybe that could be construed as like, because it wasn't, that would be also my way to say, because it wasn't even brought up at all. That's my way of sort of saying like, it seems like we're not.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's like, so if you do want to, now's kind of the time to be like,
you know what's
oh,
weird?
we're not.
I think
But
it's weird.
mostly I'm just kind of going like, yeah, I'm going to crash out. So like, what, you want to smoke? By the way, you want to smoke one more joint before you go? It's
Right.
I don't mind.
Well, it is weird, like, because sometimes, like, you guys aren't guys. Like, we're just, like, all laughing and having fun. So we're not thinking about you as guys, but you're like, I'm about to fuck this chick. And you're like, oh, I'm just, like, we're just carrying, we had a joke down there. Now we're up here doing the joke. But then you think, like, I'll think back and I'll go, like, oh, wait, like, they're like, come up to my room. And I'm like, yeah, bitch, let's go. Like, I think we're like fucking purple nurple you or something.
I think that's a little naive.
Yes. No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's
But
a
it's
little
like, but it
naive
wouldn't
for
even
sure.
like occur to me that would be like a.
But I'm saying what I have a hard time getting in the shoes of is why that's such a big deal of even finding out in the room.
That it was a thing.
Because in my mind, I just know like if more than like, again, this is another story I have more than anything else is girl in my room till 5. We haven't.
Still talking.
We haven't fucked yet, and then it becomes she's gonna go just because like she has to go, and then it was almost like, why did you not?
Why am I so
I'm like,
awake?
well, then you should have said you wanted to, and it's not because I'm. It's also not like I'm looking for consent for like the legalities of it. I'm like, I don't want to try to kiss you, and you
then
go,
you say,
well, because
Yeah.
I go when you leave. I'm gonna fucking start getting in a warm tub with a razor and going like, well, that's humiliating. Why did I even think? And then it gets self-deprecating. You know what I mean?
Like,
That's what it is.
he has this guy that he likes, this musician.
Yeah, I just started following like this band and I'm like, oh, this guy's awesome. And I looked him up and it was like he just got busted for like Me Too or whatever. And he was like he was popular like in the 90s. So now he's like older and he doesn't look as good. He was like kind of like a good looking guy back in the day though. So when he got in trouble for inviting girls back and then like whipping out his dick, kind of like Louieing when he's like just whipped out his dick and they're like, what the fuck? Why are you jerking off? But like for him, it's like, I think it's just like he used to be good looking. So he used to probably do that back in the day and it probably worked out,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, sure, yeah.
And then now he's just
When you're ugly, it's Me Too.
and then one of the girls,
Yeah.
one of the girls said that he was like, "What? You don't want to fuck me because I'm fat and fat and old and ugly?"
And they're like, yeah, that's basically it.
Like,
But it is like they're like so excited because they're like, oh my God, like I'm such a fan of your stuff. Like I listen to your stuff when I'm down, and they're like, you want to keep hanging out with me? Like they like. There is a thing like I know you're saying it's naive, but it's like it is naive in the sense that it's like it's truly not even like crossing that person's mind that might be I mean, which is crazy, but it's just I remember flying out, some guy, it was this guy's 30th birthday party. That's actually where I met Mike O'Dare. It was our friend's 30th birthday party. I had met him through my ex-boyfriend lived in LA. I was living in Santa Fe. For spring break, I came to like hang out with him and our friends. We went to this party. Right before we go into the party, he goes, hey, like, these are our bosses. Like, they worked on like an MTV show. They're like, these are our bosses. Like, don't like, can you not be? I was like, myself. They're like, can you be a little less? And so then I went in like full Annie, like, fuck you. Like, I went crazy. And I ended up, his boss liked me. We were like hanging out and chatting and laughing and stuff. And it was fun. He's giving me attention. I'm just at a party, like having fun. So then we like, he's like, asked me out to dinner. So I know this is like kind of a date, you know, and it's like, are we vibing or is it just friends or whatever?
Teacher.
Of course. Well, no. Well, that was my parents put a room in their house for me. That's my parents got me. We love them. We forgive them. But anyway, so yeah, and it's like funny because things like that did happen to me and I still was like, whatever. But I remember, like, I still thought I didn't have, like, I ended up coming to this guy's 30th birthday party, okay, like flew in. And then I was like, it's not a vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And many times I've just fucked those guys anyway because I feel guilty. But at that point, it didn't even like occur to me And then he was like trying to make, and I was like, it's not me, you know, like it's going to be someone else tonight for you.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean? But I was like, I was okay with that. Like, I was okay with that. And then somewhere later on in the line, I felt obligated to fuck people if something like that happened. Because sometimes you just aren't, you think you're into someone, right? Then you meet them. I think you guys can fuck through there being not a chemistry match, but it's like not.
I can fuck through there not being a chemistry match already knowing I'm like, this is probably the last time that would happen.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, it's the path has to be so clear
Right.
for me to do it because of my own insecurity.
Yes.
I just don't want to be the story where then she goes, and then
you don't want to ever like get the
this
cheek.
fat ugly shit thought that he could fuck me. I'm smoking weed in his room, and this fat shit thought he could fuck me because I was smoking weed in his room.
I was like, look at my nipple ring. Is this weird?
Yeah, the story's never gonna go like he held her down or it's always going to be like, I can't believe. And then he started going, sorry, until I left. So it's like, I'm more worried about that. So like, that's what I'm saying, the path. But again, I guess there's people who like try to convince more, and I get all that. So it's like, I get the thing. So I do think it is naive
there
not
are
to go.
some holder downers.
I remember telling people, it's you know, it's funny in hindsight, it's probably so much creepier. But the girl I was dating after the girl who I lost my virginity to was our very first date. She, while her parents were right outside of the door, slid my hand up her pants, like up her shorts, to like finger her. I'm like, yo,
That's so funny she did up her pants. It's like really long arms.
This girl's wild. I'm like, this girl is really wild. So the next night, I used to babysit my siblings. They were really young. All the time, my parents worked a lot. So I was like, you should come over one night when I'm watching my brother and sisters. Like, they go to bed around like 9 o'clock or whatever. And she's like, great. She came over and we go in the bedroom. I put on Boys to Men 2.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Boys to Men 2. In a boombox, and we're making it. She gets butt naked. She's blowing me a little bit. I go down on her and I go over to the this is the origin story. This is so lame and so true. I went over and grabbed a condom and I go, I guess I'll be needing one of these. I said those words. Then she went, no. And then I was like,
you're like,
what? Yes,
okay.
exactly. And she goes,
somebody's fun.
Yeah, she goes,
good girl.
She goes, no, I'm a virgin. I don't want to have sex. And I was like, how? That's totally cool. And I remember when she was leaving, I told her, I go, I'm just saying this because I think, be very happy that I'm me for sure, but like, you in life ever throw that out earlier before you're like in a room.
Why could you just blow you,
Because I was just like, huh?
She couldn't just finish.
No, she did. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like the idea of like you drop that hammer low. Like I'm like, you might be in a situation in life. I was smart enough to know at that young of an age that I was like,
yeah,
we're probably not gonna be together forever. In life, that is gonna be a thing. Like, don't drop that hammer at that moment.
Yeah.
I go, somebody might be like weird about that. I'm like, that's fine.
Like,
it's fine.
But also, I feel like when you go to a guy in the beginning,
that must have sounded creepy in hindsight too. I could kill you. Just know I could murder you right now, but I'm
like,
not.
Also, in the beginning, when you're hooking up with a guy, if you go like, we're not going to hook up, they think you're lying.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't.
Do you know how fucking annoying that is? You're like, okay, I'm not, and they're like, yeah, right. And I'm like, no, I didn't
like the
shave.
pressure removal of that.
I literally wear my like, I'm wearing my like Holocaust underwear. Like, this is like not.
I'd rather know that than, you know, I'd rather know that and still hang for a little bit, and I just know where that is, or I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
If I want to hang for the sake of hanging, that wouldn't change my mind at all. But yeah, the worst thing is finding out that it's that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, it was just such an old, it was a comic. It was a Dane Cook that people were like making fun of at one point because he said someone stole his essence, which, by the way, could have been hearsay for all we know. I never got that like firsthand.
They put it on Louis, so I don't know if that was like a real.
The essence.
If Louis was like writing that in, Dane Cook was on there doing that.
But there is a real, there is sort of a thing where it's like sometimes people just, I don't think it's a bad thing either. Like, I know that there's plenty of like, I said, I'm very good. I think we said this in the green room the other day. Like, I'm really good at getting like really pretty girls to want to hang. They definitely want to hang. And that hang is where they're making their decision. Like, is this going to be a fuck him or is this going to be a buddy? You know, and when they leave, I'm like, I'm fine with either. Like,
I had a friend.
I also have like a long-term girlfriend who I love, so I could in the current status, like it wouldn't even You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
if you don't want to fuck, then okay,
So
bye. If you want to fuck, fantastic.
I had a friend who, it was like my friend from high school's friend from like Hebrew school or something, you know? So he was like a once removed friend. And she like went away to college and I was still living in Philly and he was living in Philly. So I like reached out to become friends with him or whatever. And we're like out hanging out eating because we would all three hang out. Like it wasn't like weird, you know?
Yeah.
To me. And then I'm like, oh, is this like a date? Like I was like, are you doing? And he goes, I'm 26 years old. I have enough female friends. And I did kind of respect it. And then I did make him be my friend. He was my friend for like 2 years. But I was like, oh, fuck you. That's so annoying.
Yeah, that
That's so
line
lame.
sucks though. I've got enough friends.
But I liked that a little bit because it also felt like that I'm not going to fuck you on the girl side. That also was sort of like, well, I'm not going to be your friend. It felt like an equal thing, but then I did win.
That's what I'm saying. Then you are friends.
And then I got you. I don't know what. I don't remember.
Sucker.
Guys. Big J. What do I say?
Annie, I can't even tell you, girl. I can't even.
We've been through
what it
so
means.
much. Most of our stories are from that one condo too. Isn't that weird? Our decade of friendship really.
Everything happened
peaked
in one condo. At the highest, at 1 mile above sea level.
Denver, you mean a lot to us. Every time I eat a Denver omelet, I think about you.
Yo, that green chili shit.
Now, okay, wait. Let's talk about you tell people about your special, the reason you're on here.
Dog Belly coming out April 5th, filmed live at Skankfest. Very, very excited for Ari Shafir, like executive producer.
He did good because he did not let me. Jordan wanted me back there. What is cinema? DP. The DP, the double penetration, wanted me back there to say hi, and Ari would not allow it. I was like a specific name on a list. Like nobody was allowed back, but like I was like an asterisk. He was right. It was infuriating. I kept trying to go back, and he kept coming like, Annie, just stop, okay? And I was like, come on, Jordan. He's like, oh, you could see him in a second. What are you doing? He's in the middle of shooting something.
I want to catch up.
I was like, I gotta see him. Girl code days. Come on.
Like, you're on acid or something. He goes, no, he'll understand.
I know it really was.
DP just does it's already happening.
I'm going like I'm literally like circling. Like I'll walk out. I'll look around. I'll come back in. Ari was like, but he did a good job.
If I just see your head come through like one of those like little box windows in the door, you're just like.
I was just like, ooh, nobody's really said no to me in about 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't really been told no. I was like, ooh, I usually can get into things. And, but he did a very good job. And so you will not hear me just chatting about girl code in the background of his special. And the only reason is because of Ari Shafir. If Ari wasn't there, 100% I would have ruined your entire special. Do you like it? Are you excited about it?
I am. Yeah. I mean, the editing sucks because I hate
painful,
it. Huh? Because I hate it.
Yeah.
But it's, no, I'm proud of it.
You did what, 2?
2, yeah.
And then you just edit together your favorite parts.
Yeah.
But it's seamless.
But you'll
never know.
You won't even know. We'll be like, those aren't our laughs.
And guys, let me just tell you something about, I like how you think that it's just going to be the people that were there.
They're editing in the laughter.
Oh, no. But it's only that the only people that are going to watch it are the people that were in the audience.
Yeah.
They're just like 200 people that are going to watch it total. How many people do you think were in there?
I think we know. We had 250, I think.
So 500. Yeah. Ooh, okay, baby. That's a theater. Anyway, guys. Watch Big J's special. Watch Bonfire still. Everything's still going.
Yes, indeed. Bonfire Legion of Skanks. BigJComedy.com.
How did I bring you up? Was I funny? Did I bring you up last night?
Yeah. That was sweet.
Was it good?
Yeah.
I'm like notoriously like, I just get into too much of a thing. One time I brought someone up.
I think I oversold. I mean, it's sweet. I mean, I think Tim's great, but I really was. I said,
he's a legend.
The man you're all aiming to see. I said the man, the myth, the legend.
All right, guys. Watch Big J's special comes out in April. Watch all his podcasts. Buy his merch. Go to Skankfest. It's probably already sold out. Is it already sold out?
Pre-sale, but then we'll have the actual sale. I think I want to say April 10th.
If I'm not on the lineup, though, you are going to want to refund your tickets because you will burn to death.
If Annie's not there, I would
you
protest.
Will all be dead. Okay? It's not going to happen without me. All right, guys. See you. Like and subscribe. Write your wins down in the comments.
Smash that subscribe button.
Smash the subscribe. Write your wins. We really do. We love each other.
It's the meat and potatoes.
Welcome to AnnieWood. This is the land of the Stannies, Annies, and Fannies, and all of the Seeper nannies. Yeah, welcome to AnnieWood. This is the land of the Stannies, Annies, and Fannies, and all of the Seeper nannies. I'm gonna ayahuasca. I'm about to prosper. Blingy on my drinky, and Randy is living proper. Protector of the sick, she never let her fishes die. Never known to tell a lie, she even fixed Todd's eyes. Shout out to the slugs, shout out Woodies too. Shout out Esther and Kalila and the AnnieWood crew. Cause this is AnnieWood, you know that this is how I'm living. Real and never pretending shit, you know that it's a gift. Welcome to AnnieWood. This is the land of the Stannies, Annies, and Fannies, and all of the Seeper nannies.